Hello, friends. It's Thor Diecow here with This Week on Blu-ray, DVD, and On Demand. We've got a couple of great titles to choose from. First, one of the movies that made my top 10 list of 2016, Tom Hanks front and center in Sully, directed by the great Clint Eastwood. And this is the harrowing true story. You remember it well, ripped right from the headlines. January 15th, 2009, The Miracle on the Hudson, as Captain Chesley Sullenberger glided his disabled plane onto the frigid waters of the Hudson River, saving all 155 people aboard. Tom Hanks here as Sully, and you know what? It looks like all the media fallout. Obviously, the event itself, but then the investigation that unfolded, threatening to destroy the reputation and career of Sullenberger. It's all done in an amazing 96 minutes. So one of the shortest Clint Eastwood movies ever. And I have to give a shout out to the editing department here, because this movie rolls along at a great pace, and they kind of mix the chronology around. So you do get plenty of gripping points of the actual flight throughout the movie instead of building it up towards the end. So it's not a slow burn. There are many moments of tension sprinkled throughout, and sort of shows the landing from different perspectives at different times. And yeah, kudos to the digital effects department as well, because a lot of the stuff they did to recreate what actually happened was amazing. So the 2-disc special edition Blu-ray and DVD comes with a couple of features. One, The Man Behind the Miracle. Another one that takes you on a step-by-step process through the harrowing 208 seconds of all of those amazing events that came together on Flight 1549. Also, Neck Deep in the Hudson, shooting Sully, looks at the splashdown on the Hudson and how they recreated it, shooting some of it actually at Universal's historic Falls Lake, where some of Jaws was filmed. I really hope this is recognized at Oscar season, because I thought Hanks gave out a great performance, and Aaron Eckhart as his co-pilot was excellent as well. Let's move along to the Western remake genre. The Magnificent Seven, coming to us courtesy of director Antoine Fuqua, and you've got an all-star ensemble cast: Denzel Washington, Chris Pratt, Ethan Hawke, and many others. This is, of course, the remake of the classic, which itself was a remake of the Seven Samurai, and it looks at a town full of desperate people who employs the protection of 7 outlaws, bounty hunters, gamblers, and hired guns after the town falls under the deadly control of an industrialist played by Peter Sarsgaard. Now, I had a couple of issues with this movie. First of all, I didn't think it needed to be remade. Second of all, it's a little bit plodding in terms of the pacing. So it's kind of slow towards the middle. Granted, there are some great shootouts, and it's got you know, your typical Western flair with the production design and the costumes, but at the end of the day, it just wasn't all that memorable, or didn't have all that sort of anything new to add to the genre itself. Chris Pratt kind of just playing himself. Denzel Washington sort of mumbling his way through it. I thought one of the bright spots of the cast was Ethan Hawke. He had an interesting backstory, and Vincent D'Onofrio. But at the end of the day, this one kind of struck out for me. But if you're a big Western fan, I think this one might be a good one to add to your collection. And there's a very cool thing with the Blu-ray interactive vengeance mode, where key members of the cast sit down and reflect on the experience of making it. So you've got behind-the-scenes footage with their lively conversations, sort of giving you an all-access look at the process of bringing the Magnificent Seven remake to the screen. Deleted scenes and 2 featurettes as well, including the extensive firearms training that the cast went through, and the taking of Rose Creek, a breakdown of the first big shootout in the movie. It's got its moments, but wasn't really all that memorable when I look at the list of all the other great movies that came out this year. Still, though, if you got a bit of a soft spot for the Westerns and you like the ensemble cast, this is a worthy effort. Something for the kids now. Let's talk Storks. And I gotta say, this one was a bit of a struggle to get through. It had some interesting moments, but for the most part, I found it kind of madcap. Basically, Storks used to deliver babies. Now they deliver packages for a global internet retail giant. And Junior, voiced by Andy Samberg, is the company's top delivery stork. He's about to be promoted when accidentally a switch is activated, producing a unauthorized but adorable baby. So he has to go out on a quest with his friend Tulip, the only human on Stork Mountain, to basically get that baby to a home. A lot of the humor was kind of weird. The characters weren't always that likable. It does have some visually inventive scenarios and some decent gags as well, but I thought for the most part it was kind of bizarre. And the whole message it sends about the storks and the babies, I think it will leave a lot of kids a little more confused than when they went into the movie. So not one of the strongest efforts of the year in terms of animated flicks. You got some great vocal talents though. Andy Samberg, Kelsey Grammer, Jennifer Aniston, Ty Burrell. Key and Peele, and Danny Trejo. But again, this one, not really for me. There were so many other great animated flicks this year. All right, let's talk TV for our last one, guys. And Vice Principals, the complete first season, is out now, courtesy of HBO Home Entertainment. And this is created by Danny McBride and Jody Hill, who gave us another great HBO show called Eastbound and Down. And this is the story of North Jackson High School and the two people who almost run it, the vice principals, Danny McBride and Walton Goggins, who I love as well. They star as the school administrators who are locked in an epic power struggle, vying for top spot to be principal. Great cast in this one. It's not always delightful and funny like Eastbound and Down was, but some very sharp writing here, and the power struggle between McBride and Goggins is infectious. I love the two of them together. They had this great rivalry, and the rest of the cast is on board too. So a couple of missteps, but overall, I can recommend this one. Vice Principals, complete first season, coasts nicely on the charms of its cast. There you go. That's it for this week. And don't forget, you can catch me on Twitter or Instagram. I'm at Thor Diecow, and we will see you next week right here on BreakfastTelevision.ca.